for final approval before it goes to town meeting. Because there is a whole process that's there.
Would need to be before the Board of Selectmen.
Before going to town meeting. And then, the next sentence, she is willing to organize fundraisers, that infers that I'm the one.
I know.
So just
That should say
strike out
Ms.
the-
Meserve.
strike
Nobody
out-
wants to know that?
No, strike just she and said Ms. Meserve is willing to
Right.
organize fundraisers for her plan. Okay?
I was pretty well wiped by the time I got to page 7.
That's all I have. I don't know, anyone else?
Yeah, you covered everything I
do.
found.
No, Bob has.
Hey, Bob.
The section under the Matt Haskell.
Matt Haskell.
On page 3, starting with the updated plan.
It's on page 3.
I'm not liking the way this sounds at all.
Okay, we're looking on page 3, which paragraph?
The update to
Well, hold
plan.
on. The second paragraph, it says, Mr. Haskell said another change concerns the large-scale building on a property at Knowles Ridge Road where he planned to make his alcohol. He's actually planning to brew beer there. Let's say brew.
He used the word alcohol,
I
that's why I
understand.
put it in
I
there.
think for the.
To make his beer,
Brew beer, that's what he was going to do there.
To brew beer,
Yes.
not
Now-
make his alcohol.
Same paragraph, 1, 2, 3 lines down, the
Right,
word
let's make sure she's got that first.
and you want alcohol changed to beer.
Right, to,
brew beer.
Instead of
Where he
make his
began-
alcohol, brew beer.
where he planned to brew beer.
I don't know why I used that word, that's why I typed it
All right,
in.
that's all right.
Okay, so 3 more lines down, the word, the sentence that starts with so, lose the so, we don't need so.
A sentence that starts with, so he bought.
Yep.
No.
Just take out
Take
the
out
so,
so,
and the
okay.
And
sentence will
then
be good.
capitalize the H of he.
He, okay,
He bought an existing winery.
yep.
And then this same sentence, he bought an existing winery in the state, that should be lowercase s there.
No, not necessarily, it's the state of Maine.
Doesn't say state of Maine.
It's referring to state.
No, but I agree. I think it should stay
All right,
capital.
okay, okay.
I'm gonna,
And we got the same thing, forced him to make more, and you got alcohol there, let's say beer, that's his business.
To make.
In order to come in compliance with the licenses he had left over.
He did use the word alcohol.
I think he did, yeah, I mean. you
and in
want-
this case, it might not be brewing beer.
Yeah,
It
it
could
might
be
be.
other alcohol. So
I kind of think we should leave alcohol in there, just.
I
in
think
case.
here it might be
Go
all
ahead.
right.
The next sentence, as a consequence.
Now
think
I
it-
say beer.
Yep,
Well,
that's
yeah,
okay.
but
So-
as a consequence, you've got, you cannot.
Brew beer.
you
I
cannot,
think it will read better if we go as a consequence.
I-
He will not be
Brewing.
brewing beer
Yeah.
in Limington.
Okay, I
he
didn't.
will not,
Be
He
brewing.
will not.
not be brewing beer in
In
Limington.
Limington, and that's all I got.
Beer in
I don't
Limington.
have the,
Got it,
that's it.
Okay,
that's it.
anybody else? Is there a motion to accept the minutes of June 1st as corrected?
I motion we accept them as corrected.
Grace moved,
I'll second.
Bob seconded, all in favor? Okay, now, we're just 2 minutes past our 7:30.
Now we're ready.
Perfect.
Okay, it is a public, oh, Aaron, did you have something you wanted to say to us? before
Yes.
I spoke with Emal and he said that being gravel is fine.
Okay, thanks.
All's well.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, now we have a public hearing for Nick Thorne and Cody Parker for a 20-unit subdivision for 55 and over residents. Yes, Mr. Lowry is going to be speaking for him.
Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening.
So,
Fine.
can give you a quick update on the very minor changes to the plans. We had a meeting last week with the electrical contractor who'll be essentially coordinating with CMP, and He suggested we had 6 transformers throughout the site. He suggested with the size of the units being 2-bedroom apiece, the loading, we could go back and do 5 transformers, so 1 transformer serving 4 units. So we just adjusted that a little bit, showing that on the plan. Also, through
Did you
the
say 5 or 4?
5 total,
Okay, thank you.
down from 6.
Okay,
And we've also added Millbrook Lane on the plan, which is consistent with the other part of the materials I dropped off to you were the updated homeowners association documents, covenants, and bylaws. So, and that, in the bylaws, it does have the provision for the share, so to speak, of the units, the individual units' costs to keep the septics maintained and
We just got this
prepared.
tonight.
Yep. So, yeah, quick update from my perspective.
Okay.
I can,
So what I'm gonna do is open it
Yep.
up to the public, and then we'll see if the board has any questions. So if you could just stand by, that would be great. Are there any questions from the audience? Sir? Okay. If you come to the podium, state your name and street address, please. Do you need this?
No. Jim Teray, 23 Mildred Lane. So are there going to be individual leach beds, or is the cistern going to be emptied?
there will be a fire cistern, and then there will be shared septic tanks for every 2 units will flow into 1 septic tank, and that tank will flow into a leach field for that, for those same 2 units.
Okay. We've been kind of at a disadvantage not having any of the plans to look at.
The plans have been available at the code office.
Okay, all right.
Office, and the-
Sure. Now, we're still waiting for the DEP requirements, correct?
Correct.
yes.
Okay.
We have not yet.
Okay.
They are slow these days.
Sure,
To put
no,
it
no
mildly.
problem. So, as I understand it, you'll be approving the project before you get the DEP report?
We may very well be doing that, yes, but like I said before, we vote, when we vote on a proposal, there's always a notice of decision that's written that goes with that approval. And that notice of decision includes any requirements that we may have that the applicant or the developer has to meet before they can proceed to a certain stage.
Okay, so the work that gets started on something that requires the filters, soil filters, or whatever stuff, that won't get started until you actually receive the DEP requirements, right?
That's what the notice of decision will say, if that's what the ordinance says.
Okay, and then Craig will facilitate seeing that they're in compliance and things like that.
Do you have any idea when you might be getting that?
No, I had reached out to the DEP project manager prior to last meeting.
Yep.
Been reaching out and haven't
Right.
heard much. Reached out again prior to last meeting, got a out of office reply that indicated she was gonna be back in the office today. Reached out again this morning, got a follow-up that they were gonna be, got out for a little more extended period of time. So I don't know their, personal circumstance.
Or something?
Huh?
Are they short-staffed?
They're very short-staffed. So with that, I emailed their supervisor in the Portland office to try and get some indication. From our perspective, we got technical comments on the stormwater design back in April, addressed them in April.
Is this by a
And-
licensed engineer, the stormwater that you're talking about? Was this?
Licensed engineer that prepared it, it's the
Yes.
DEP reviewer that's looking at it. I don't know if they're licensed or
Okay.
not, but, so, again, we're not aware that there's any substantive changes that are gonna be made to the plans based on the DEP reviewer. I think we would have gotten those comments, it's
If
just,
there were something wrong, yeah.
right, waiting for that that churn of the process to get the permit written and issued,
Okay.
so.
So the other concern I have is of the trees, what we think of as a buffer. Is that going to be disturbed?
As I think on our site walk, when we were there, there's one area where the trees jut out a little bit.
Yeah.
And there might be a couple cut
Sure.
there, but other than that, I don't think you were gonna
Okay.
cut anything, were you?
You're not even gonna be close to that.
Yeah, that's correct. There is that one jut out right
Right.
through here, but ultimately, we've got a 75-foot setback from the stream that there'll be some minor encroachments in that, but pretty much anything from this wetland and the stream back to.
Nothing.
Where's your piece? Is it this one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so a substantial buffer, undisturbed wooded buffer will remain right there
Okay.
around the stream.
So one of the big concerns we have is of the watershed to the Great Pond of Webster Mill Pond. And also the aquifer. That, I guess, will be taken care of by the DEP. Now, our other concern is of Mildred Avenue. You saw that it may be, whatever, 24 feet wide or whatever, but it doesn't take much to clog that up. And when they were building the house, the new house on the end, we had some problems with congestion, I would say that, keeping us from being able to go down. What their contractors would need to know is that there really is no easy place for anything with a large trailer or any large equipment to turn around once you get past the bridge. I mean, it's either our property and our trees that get damaged, and we did talk to them about that, but now that you don't have a postage stamp, you've got a page, 10 acres is a pretty large area, and I hope that they make some provision for materials and trailers and whatever once the first equipment gets out there and starts leveling the land. Because we don't see it as any reason that Mildred Lane should be blocked. I mean, that's,
I understand what you're
because
saying.
we're gonna run into some problems if we run into obstructions as far as getting out. What they should also realize that Mildred Lane looks very empty, but there are 4 families, there are a bunch of kids that play on that road, and I think just kinda, if they leave us alone, we'll leave them alone. But that's about it. And
So-
I would be interested in looking at the HOA agreement, if that's possible, to know what they are saying about any maintenance of Mildred Lane.
Can you show me from where the new house was built up to where that wetlands, how many houses are in that section? Just
The new house is about half, and then the trailer is about half, and then you go over the bridge and then get into 2 other
So there's
houses.
basically 2 dwellings on the lower portion of Mildred?
Right, and
then
two
two-
back here, and an active sand and gravel operation. Some trucks going through there occasionally.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am. You can state your name and street address as well.
Rose Teray. I'd just like to follow up on one thing he was saying. Mildred Lane, our question really is where they're going to stage, what area they're going to stage from. Is it going to be off Mildred Lane or someplace off of Route 25?
Jim, can you answer that question?
Well, ultimately will get determined when a contractor is selected and lays out their plan. I don't know, Nick, if you guys
We
thought about
really
that
haven't
any?
talked about which direction to stop.
I mean, we've
Whatever
got,
makes the most sense.
we've got the entrance
We're
permit.
certainly not gonna block off any public
Right.
right away. I never have doing any other project. I'm not gonna.
That doesn't mean you won't
No, well, no,
have
please direct them to questions here.
That doesn't mean, though, that people won't feel like they can park along there. You saw from your site walk that it does tighten up the whole area. And there are emergencies. The trailer several years ago burst into flames. We've had some overnight, mishaps and have to get out. It's our only way of ingress and egress. And with 10 acres, which is different than this little house that they just built, with 10 acres, I'd like to see them have a staging area that's large enough for materials, equipment, parking, especially turnarounds for large equipment and trailer. And we'd also like them to have signage along Mildred Lane to say no stopping. Okay, no stopping in Mildred Lane. We've had too many, with the smaller house, we've had too many people stopping.
You mean parking on?
Parking, stopping, whatever, and clogging the lane. So I think that's the biggest
So-
problem we have with this whole operation is knowing that we're not going to have to go through what we went through with the one house. I mean, 20 is going to be substantially more than that one house. Okay, we did have damage to our property with that one house.
What kind of damage?
A guy in a large truck with a large trailer came back, thought he could turn around in our lane, knocked into our fence, breaking our post. Our house number went down. We lost a tree. Now, we've got lots of trees. We can afford to lose one, but we had damage. We tried to talk to him. He was not very polite, and we figured in this day and age, you don't mess with people like that. Okay?
That's unfortunate. Thank you.
So we just want to avoid that sort of situation again. And there are young children running around Mildred Lane, okay? School-age children, elementary school children, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
So, just a couple thoughts came to mind while Rose was talking. Just, where we've got a construction entrance both here off of 25 and Mildred Lane. It's very conducive for, one-way traffic coming in whichever way and then looping back out. The area is, as you guys have noticed, all cleared. So there's ample room if, once the road, first step will be to come in and cut the road out, get some,
Right.
sub-base gravel in to provide a good, stable road and working surface. From there, if there's material or if there's areas that are going to be reserved for material stockpile, these areas are all cleared. They're, it's an open meadow.
So there would be
it's
no
not-
buildings there until,
Exactly. You're gonna get a lot of the infrastructure, somewhat in place before some of the buildings start to get built. And then, we don't want to obstruct Mildred Lane either, as Nick said.
so is there any possibility of making it a one-way ingress and then just egress? Because if you're egressing onto Mildred Lane, you wouldn't have to stop. You'd just be making the turn to go out to the road.
How can,
So if you have a comment, Nick, come on up to, no, come on up. No, we'd like to hear what you say.
I mean, that is hard to
asking
enforce
that.
with multiple subcontractors.
Just asking.
I think we can broach the topic with the primary site work contractor, who's, will be.
Well, I'm talking about the development of the road. That seems to be where the most, the most traffic time would be. Bob, you can.
Yeah, if you look at this, I'm looking at this and thinking that done correctly, there'd be less encroachment on Mer than there was to build a single-family home. Because there was no place to go there when you're building that home.
Right.
Here, you're gonna come off 25.
Yeah, mostly.
You're gonna have to build all those houses overnight. I mean, you're gonna have, like you say, you're gonna cut that road in, you'll have places to put your material, you'll have places to, you're gonna have trucks and workers in there and what have you. I see most of that being off-road. I don't see it,
Yeah.
I see it as a better opportunity to protect Myrtle than if you, I'm sorry, Mildred, than if you were building a single-family home on Mildred. That's the way I'm looking at
That's
it.
true.
And I think we can, my desire would be to put some rudimentary stuff into the decision that would point out that's where we want the construction equipment to be and materials moving in and out of there.
I think we could word the notice of decision to, encourage the ingress off 25, and then using some common sense and respect for the neighbors to have, so that Village Road isn't, I really do think it can be accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just
not-
be
and not
sure it's not
complicated.
obstructed.
And I'm not hearing that
complicated.
you're not objecting to being on Mildred. I mean, to come out there and turn around and get to 25,
Oh, no, they couldn't
that's
do
not
that.
the issue.
No.
Right.
It's just,
So, no, I'm talking about coming off 25, going
No,
all the way
yeah,
up and
yeah.
then down.
Right.
And it would not be a problem, that you're welcome to do that. I mean, it's hard to turn these things around. You're bringing in a shovel or whatever it is, that's a big piece of equipment. But if you can come through, turn left, be back on 25, I think you can do it.
No, and I think with that, and that loop, to your point, the likelihood of a lot of vehicles feeling the need to park out on Mildred Lane.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like I
we could
said, we
just
can
outright-
convey that to the
we
contractor as
could
well.
outright ban it and say that they're not allowed to park there. It would be an enforcement issue,
Right.
it's, but I still.
They don't
think-
want to deal with Craig any more than they
Right,
have to.
But I still think common sense and respect goes a long, long way.
Yeah.
But having it in writing is a good thing, because that way you have something to go back to and to say, okay,
Yep, this is what we agreed
Yeah.
to. Yep.
Yes, Pete,
How many units are gonna be constructed at one time?
do you know, Jim?
5, 6,
Probably 4 at a time, I'm guessing.
4 at a time?
Yeah, depends on how they sell.
Now,
Yeah,
are
you
these
know.
all stick built or
Yeah.
are they
Yes, they're all stick.
all stick built?
Yeah.
So no big frame,
No,
needed frame?
no.
Okay.
Okay,
Now, when you say 4 at a time, is it gonna be a block of 4 or are they spread out?
Don't know, whoever wants to buy a lot wherever.
Oh, okay,
You
so
know what
it's
I mean?
whoever,
They'll all be for sale, basically, if you want one, I don't
Oh,
wanna tell
okay, so-
someone they can't build on the lot they want.
it's the lots it's all open, so the lots would be
Yeah,
sort of, most of
Right.
them.
so,
Yeah, which unit, somebody would want.
so really the Millbrook Lane, most of the contractors gonna be parked on that anyway.
Gonna be packed in
Whichever
here.
driveway is
Yeah,
still left open.
Right, right.
Yeah,
they're gonna be in on the new road once we build it. I mean,
Yeah.
the first thing we do is build the road. We're not gonna be out on Mildred Lane.
Yeah.
We're working in the field.
Yep. Okay,
Am I in the wrong place here?
I'm good.
you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, see, they would-
One's an avenue, one's the,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm all set.
Yeah. Any other questions?
from the public.
Bonnie?
Bonnie Laughlin, Cape Road. I still have some questions about aspects of the water on the project. And one is the aquifer.
No questions here, not to Nick. He's answering the questions.
I was just turning my head to
Sorry.
acknowledge
I
that
thought you were gonna.
the person that I've heard mention the aquifer recently was Mr. Teray, a member
Okay,
of
I'm
the
sorry.
public tonight. But I wanted to bring to the board's attention in my remark tonight that we mentioned the aquifer before, and in the minutes of March 16th, when I think this project was first discussed, the reply was made that the aquifer will be reviewed. So that's in the minutes, and I'm just hoping that it has been reviewed. The place of the aquifer, how the aquifer might be affected, it's in the minutes. Number 2 question right now are the reports that are noted on the plan. going to be part of the
Submission?
submission and perhaps the approval. One would be Basswood, which Basswood Environmental in Cape Elizabeth, I believe they did the wetlands report.
Is that correct, Mr.?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I don't
Yes.
remember the name of it.
Yeah, Basswood, and anything that's referenced was submitted
Yes.
with our
Right,
original
right, I just
application.
don't remember the name, that's
Yep.
all.
I just happened to make a note of that because, I was interested in the wetlands and so forth. And in that report, Mr. Lowry, it did say that the Army Corps of Engineers will still require notification
Yep,
under section 404 of the Clean Water Act.
yep, which we've done.
And also it said any impacts will still be scrutinized closely. So by whom is my question?
Well, for a project of this size, it's less than 200 square feet of wetland impacts. So that's well below the DEP threshold to review for wetland impacts. But the Corps has looked at it and signed off on what we've done to, notably minimize the impacts. Less than 200 is one of the smallest projects with wetland impacts that I've ever worked on.
All I know is that the Basswood report did say again, however, any impacts will still be scrutinized closely.
Well, I think that could mean that Craig, in his, the routine progress of it, would ensure that.
I think in more or less a blanket statement by the regulatory community, when they do that report, they don't know how much wetland impacts are going to be proposed with the project.
So who's keeping an eye on our water? I guess that's what I'm saying. And who's keeping an eye on who is this entity that might be scrutinizing closely? Is it Craig? Is it the DEP? I heard Mr. Teray mention the aquifer and the DEP, and I thought, oh, good, maybe it's the DEP that will be.
Well,
really
to be
doing
very
this.
honest with you, I think Craig would probably be more on hand and quicker to make a judgment or to review than to have, if we're waiting this long for the DEP because they're so short-staffed to get a simple approval. I can't imagine how long it might take for them to come out and, as long as they have reviewed all of the plans, they have made any comments or considerations back to the planning board and to the developer. They are included in the plan as presented, which means that the developer has to follow the plan as presented. And Craig's, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig, Craig's responsibility is just to see that the plan is carried out as presented. And that includes all the various approvals.
So, and I've heard a couple of times the phrase, there'll only be a few small encroachments. I heard that today, something like that. I've heard it on the site plan, and I've talked to a couple of members of the board as we walk the site, I guess, just saying, are these, what is a small encroachment to 75-foot protection that's in our zoning that we care about? We've gone over this many times with other projects, so I have what I feel is legitimate confusion about what a small encroachment is. I have to follow, I get to drive a car, but I don't get to run through red lights. Sometimes I gotta do that. I gotta stop at red lights. So what is a small?
So in the zoning standards, the town's shoreline zoning standards regulate structures within that 75-foot setback, which we have no structures close to that setback area. From the DEP standpoint, they also regulate any land disturbing activities within 75 feet of this of the stream. But they regulate to 75, but they allow through the permit by rule process disturbing activities down to 25 feet with, the plan and an application that demonstrates that you're gonna, use appropriate erosion control measures, things along those lines to minimize any kind of impact on the stream right through here. So we do have some areas where our grading for the stormwater basins comes down in, like right here, right in this area. So we'll have to make sure we've got robust silt fence or erosion control measures right along the toe of that slope so that, you know, we don't have any erosion getting down into the stream area, the wetland, and then into the stream.
And the other comment I would make is that if they do disturb beyond what is allowable, there can be a stop work order put forth, as there was in another property in town where there was disturbance of, and they have to correct what they fixed. So the smartest move is to do it right the first time, because it's gonna cost you a lot more money if you're gonna have to go in and correct it.
And who will be watching?
The planning board has no enforcement authority. We can't.
You answered my
we-
question. You answered my question. Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
I wasn't saying the planning board.
Yeah,
I was just
I know.
asking a question.
So from the town's perspective, it's Craig. He is the code enforcement officer. We just are elected to sit here and set the rules and back off, basically. We have, yes, Grace.
But I will say, from going on the site walk, it gave a real good visual for the amount of area that was being allowed for these homes and the amount of space between them going toward the stream. You know, I was a little unsure going into it that, you know, was there really enough space, you know, between Route 25 and the stream to put it in well? And after I went on the site walk, I felt really good about it, that it had been taken into good consideration, the way it was marked off. I could see that, you know, there was plenty of room behind all the units, that they were taking all that into consideration. So I felt the site walk was very valuable I'm a visual person, and it gave me a good visual for how it was going to be. And I think this here, it shows that they've really taken into consideration going back to the stream, you know, the places that they need to be concerned, that they have, you know, enough, you know, and if they've gone to the trouble of getting it all like this, then to me, that says that they're concerned with how it's going to fit there, impact the stream, and so on.
I appreciate your subjective feeling about it, but still, if it is objectively a part of the plan, it's reasonable to expect that there will be some objective respect of the plan. So when I heard the words small encroachment or minor encroachment, I've heard that a few times, you know, I feel it's worth all of us hearing what that means and who's gonna follow up. It's all.
Yeah, I mean, that is, if there's a complaint, then the DEP does have an enforcement group that goes out and addresses that. We'll have to go out and do routine inspections of the site.
Who will do that? Sorry. Who will-
Our office will do that as we.
HUM? And then just a big general picture question. I don't think this public hearing was advertised in the
Yes,
shop.
it was. It was advertised in Portland Press Herald, on the webpage, at the
Oh,
select.
in the Press Herald?
Yep, in
Is
the
that
Press
where it was?
Herald and on the
And the shopping
webpage.
guide.
Which issue of the shopping guide?
I haven't read this week's shopping guide, but
I mean, was it-
under the purview of what has to be done in the zoning ordinance, it was in the Portland Press Herald, it was on the website, it was posted out here, and the selectmen, even though it wasn't a public hearing, the selectmen announced it at their last meeting, so I think it was properly advertised.
We've all looked at this a few times. I think that sometimes it gets confusing, but in our zoning ordinance on page 53, it does say that it has to be published notice in
And that was,
advance in a newspaper of general circulation.
well, I think that was before we had a web page, so but yes, if it didn't get in for this one, I'm sorry about that, but I do know that it was clean as far as the advertising, because of being on the web page and because of being posted out here and because of the select board making their announcement of it last Thursday night. So if it didn't, I have to admit, I have not read the shopping guide this week. And if it didn't, it does not mean that this is an illegal hearing.
I was just asking, I heard you say that it was in, so.
I don't know, I haven't read the paper, but if, you know, everybody makes the mistake.
I'm not saying that either, I was just asking.
But I am the one responsible, and I appreciate your asking, and, you know, that's the,
I think you can put a billboard out front.
you had a question, I think.
I know, I had a comment, and it was, there were 2 studies done, if I recall, that you brought to, it wasn't the last meeting, it was the one before, regarding runoff and water infiltration. And my concern was, are we going to have as much recoup from precipitation after all this construction's done? And the answer to that was, yes, we will. By the time we're done catching the runoff off the roofs, and I felt good about that, Bonnie, because I had the same concern. And after those studies, it was pretty apparent that this project's not gonna have any impact on the ability to continue to infiltrate water. Now, how much they will take out of the ground, I don't know, but I do know this. It is an enormous aquifer. And I'm sure somewhere in that report there was more information that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but I just wanted to bring that up, that it has been addressed.
Right, the two studies by the hydrogeologist dealt with both water supply, which you were talking about, as well as the nitrate discharge or nitrate plumes from the septic fields and the levels that are required to be adhered to as the plume migrates downstream to, you know, wetlands and off-site property areas. You know, you certainly wouldn't want to have that, you know, with the you know, towards a well or something along those lines. But that's the nice thing here, where with the stream, you've got effectively, typically groundwater follows the surface water contours, and, you know, you've got a break here with the stream that effectively intercepts any of that flow, so.
Okay, anything else? Pete?
One question to the contractor. The contractor is,
Well, you mean you're addressing it to Mr. Lowry? Or to Nick and Cody?
to Nick and Cody. Are these units gonna be built by your company, every one of them? Or you contracting the,
No, we're gonna.
Sub 'em out.
We plan on building them all ourselves.
so you plan to build them?
Yeah.
Now, if a customer comes in and says, I want unit number 9, I wanna use my contractor,
Nah, we wanna build them ourselves.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Good
Yes,
control that way.
Yeah,
I thought you might.
Jim Teray, 23 Mildred Lane. I was just wondering, each of the houses will have a cistern of their own, right?
Not a cistern, a septic system.
A well,
Well,
What are we talking
in a
about?
shared
well,
septic.
what is the purpose of the 15,000 gallon cistern?
Fire protection.
Fire protection. Fire protection.
Fire protection. That'll be up over here
Okay.
off of Mildred Lane for the fire department to be able to hook into.
Okay,
The septics and the tanks are shared between the 2 units. So say
Okay.
1 and 20 would flow into a combined tank.
okay, so
Into
what do you refer to that tank as, a cistern?
A septic tank.
Septic tank, okay,
Yep,
okay.
sorry.
All right,
But the
gotcha.
cistern is typically for fire
Okay,
protection.
that was it, thank you very much.
Okay. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Rose Stray, 23 Mildred Lane. In response to Bonnie's question, that's our front door, so we will be watching, okay? We have photographs of how the land lies right now, and it does flood through there. That creek does not stay in its banks, it floods, okay? So,
Does it flood all the way up to where those houses are gonna be?
I don't think it'll get up that far, but we did have a couple that, you know, came up to our lane, so it does flood. And I was wondering, you talk about a 75-foot setback. Does that account for flooding?
We also have the FEMA floodplain line laid on the plan too. So yes, we have accounted for that.
You have?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So you can see like right through here is the floodplain line. So
But there was one year it just flooded that whole area. And it probably did come up into that area that you're talking about building in, but I don't know how far because the bridge actually was covered with water several feet. Okay, so,
okay.
Thank you.
yes.
No more comments? Okay. You had a comment about the HOA, and I have a thought on it. Why don't you-
No, I just, I'd like some time to review
Yeah,
it before.
we just received the HOA, which is homeowners association bylaws. And so my thought on this, and if the rest of the board agrees, is that we go ahead with the approval of the plan with our stipulations that we make every time we have a different publication. And if we, whatever stipulations we wish to put in, like Mildred Lane shall not be blocked at any time, and that there will be no parking on Mildred Lane, and that all DEP approvals have to be presented to the code enforcement officer. That might require a little bit more discussion. But I would ask that, and if we could put one of the conditions being that we want to have time to look at the HOA, and if we could vote on everything except the HOA, that if we had any, if we vote on the HOA with the condition that if we had any questions or concerns about it, they could be addressed at our next meeting. We might not have any, I don't know, I haven't even looked at it yet. But I know there is concern for that. So if we, what,
No, I think if,
you know,
you know, we appreciate that and know.
because I can't
you know,
see
you
holding
guys-
up
you
the
guys
whole
need
plan
do
to just review this.
the findings of fact. So, yeah, if we got some understanding that the plan was approved,
What
that-
we'll have more than an understanding, we'll have a vote
Yep.
tonight, if the rest of the board
Yeah,
agrees.
I'm fine with that. I,
Okay with that? Okay. So are there any other conditions than what I just mentioned that the rest of the board would like to, once again, the standard comments at the end of the notice of decision are that the developer applicant shall follow all the plans that were presented and voted. So when we vote tonight, we may not go through every single unit, but we are voting on the overall plan you've presented. And that Craig will be the enforcer of it. So that covers everything, but we do sometimes have more specific points like the parking on Mildred Lane. So are there any other conditions that should be in the notice of decision according to the planning board here?
I
Yep.
think I heard all yours. I made a bunch of notes here,
Yep.
and I think they agree with you. I just want to make sure.
Sure.
One is provision for equipment, turnaround, no blocking or parking on Mildred Lane.
Yeah, okay,
That'd be
we can
number one.
add, yeah, okay, we can expand that, she'll have it in there. Yep, just one sec, yep.
And
And,
then the second one is contingent on DEP approval prior to issuance of permits.
what do you mean there? That they
The
can't-
DEP permits have to come through before the building permits.
Oh, before the building permits,
Right,
but they
right.
can still go ahead and build the road and do,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
okay.
And then I've already got, no, this is redundant. I put no parking staging on Mildred. I already said
Yeah.
that. So yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Pete,
And the ability to review the HOA.
Private.
no, Mildred Lane is a private road, is it?
Yes.
But the town plows it, do they?
No.
No.
They don't, okay. Yes,
Could you add to what you're doing and add that no right turns coming off the property onto Mildred Lane? No right turns?
what is that? Can we do that I don't know if we can legally do
And
that
the
on the
road
road.
is ours anyway, I mean, we own the road. We own.
No, we're not talking about your road, we're talking about the
Mildred Lane.
existing Mildred Lane. Because you will own the Mildred Lane extension in your property, but the
We
Mildred.
own across the brook and the whole backside of that property. So I don't,
Yeah.
if we
I
wanna
don't
drive
think
it back
legally
to
we
the
can,
property.
I don't think legally we can do that.
Well, I wouldn't think so. You might wanna go down the other end of your property.
I don't think we can.
There's really
It's only
no
for-
yeah,
reason to go
okay,
up there, you can't get out.
It would only be for construction and workers, that's what I'm saying.
I still.
We've already,
Yeah, they've already said.
dealt with that.
Yeah, we've pretty much said that they will come in off 25. And when this is with whatever materials, and they'll have a staging area for those materials. Then when the empty truck goes out, it will take a left on Mildred and then go whichever way it wants on 25.
Okay,
There's really no reason for to
Exactly.
come up.
exactly.
Yes, everything? No. Okay, all right, so I will accept a motion to approve the plan. Is there a name on this plan?
Limington
In
Estates.
Estates.
Limington Estates. The approval of Limington Estates with the condition aforementioned. Is there,
I'll make the motion, we accept as presented.
Bob made the motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Grace seconded, any questions? All in favor? Okay, so does everybody understand where we're at now? Okay?
Yep.
So what we'll do is, we will be meeting again in 2 weeks, and we will be responsible for reviewing the HOA and letting, you don't necessarily have to come unless you want to. How about this, if we have some major changes, we'll have Craig call you, or I will call you, and
I don't think we'll be meeting in 2 weeks though, because 2 weeks is the third
Yeah.
Monday.
Is
And we
that the
don't,
9th of June?
it's June 29th, and we don't typically meet we meet usually the first and the
Oh, we meet
third.
the first and the
We
third.
don't typically meet on the fifth Monday,
You're right, so it would be the first Monday in July.
which is July something.
But I think that's the July 4th Monday.
It is, but July 4th is on a
Friday.
Friday or Saturday?
It's on a Saturday, but isn't Monday
Saturday.
still the holiday?
I don't know the answer to that.
Typically, it'd be observed on Friday.
July 4th is
That's a good
Saturday,
question.
so
So
we'll
if
be
it's
meeting
Saturday-
first.
If the holiday is a Saturday, wouldn't the day would be a Friday?
Possibly, I mean, we don't know at this point, actually, I could see if the town
But
hall is.
ultimately, your next available
The next meeting, correct. I just wanted you to know it's not gonna be in 2 weeks.
Yep.
It might not be in 3 weeks.
Well, but this is not gonna hold up, you know,
No.
moving forward.
Will we be able to get a sign, the contract sign as the plan
You
sign?
mean getting the three?
Yeah, just to get our contractors
Yes.
going.
Tonight,
We can do that
we've
tonight.
approved it, so we can sign it, if you have them here.
I don't have, our surveyor wasn't in the office today, so it wasn't able to get a wet stamp on the plan. So I'll get Craig copies for you guys to be able to sign.
Okay, and we can, if you let us know as soon as you get them, we can stop by and
You
sign
know,
them.
we can stop in and sign them.
Yep.
That's
I'll
fine.
deliver them.
Yeah, it's not too far from Gorham to
Feel
run
like-
out here one day.
You feel like driving around to everybody's house?
That's true, we're all pretty close to here, actually.
I don't mind coming down, so.
I don't mind either.
Thank you.
If you wanna come by and see my house, you're more than welcome. I just redecorated the inside.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
But
It's
anyway,
worth a trip.
I'm teasing. So I thank you
Okay,
very,
thank you all.
very much.
We appreciate your review. And, I'll coordinate with Craig on any comments and
Yep.
getting him.
And getting the signed copy, so, yep. Good.
Now, the 8 o'clock person is not coming? I guess not.
8 o'clock?
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Have a good night.
Hope things go all right with the DEP.
Oh, they
Thank you.
will.
Quickly.
Just patience is all we need.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so, 8 o'clock appointment.
Nope.
So, and we've already done the minutes.
Right.
Does anybody else have any other business?
No, it's 8:15, so I'd say we've waited long enough for the 8 o'clock.
I agree.
What was he, oh, he's talking about that building.
Yeah,
So,
Preliminary.
right.
Yeah.
So if no one else has any agenda items, is there a motion to adjourn?
Absolutely. I motion we adjourn.
Pete seconded. Pete, all those in favor of adjourning?
ready to play.
Thank you. We are.